So this morning's Google Doodle commemorates the 216th anniversary of the first parachute jump. Well, the word parachute, the root in 8 letters exactly, adds perfect to 88. Hello. Who takes the glory for every single parachute that has ever happened and that ever will happen in the history of the universe? Jesus equals 8 at 8. Parachute in 8 letters is the root of all of the words that come from it. Parachuting, parachuted, parachuter, parachuters, parachutes, parachutings, the whole 9 yards. So, do you see how Jesus equals 8 at 8 takes the glory for the root of all of those words, and therefore he takes the glory for all those words, and therefore he takes the glory for all parachutes, period. Because if you take the glory for the name, you take the glory for the whole thing. So Jesus equals 8 at 8 takes the glory for all parachutes. And it is by divine ordinance that Google celebrated the 216th anniversary with the Google Doodle, both for my encouragement and for God's ultimate glory. As I open up my Google webpage, obviously I always start with Google search, and lo and behold, I see a 216th anniversary. Well, 216 is 8 tripled, tripled, and tripled. Okay, it's 888 times 3 times 3 again, to the glory of Mr. 888, Jesus equals 8 at 8. So this is all by divine ordinance. Jesus equals 8 at 8 takes the glory for all parachutes and all parachuting, and also by divine ordinance is the fact that the first parachute, this very parachute that this first man leapt out of, as we see in these illustrations here, it had exactly 16 divisions in the parachute. Looking at it from the top down, you see it has 8 segments on the top half and 8 segments on the bottom half. And even more glories in this whole story, obviously, just keep digging around for gold, is the man who was the mentor. Okay, the mentor is more important than the pupil. The mentor of this man who ultimately took the first parachute drop was a man named Jacques Alexander César Charles. And that grand name adds perfectly to 272, with the first 2 parts of his name adding to 160, and the last 2 parts of his name adding to 112. And his first name, Jacques, very common, of course, in French, is our beloved 76, a quadruple of the 8th prime. So, so there you go. Another massive, when you think about how big parachutes are and how iconic they are the official life-saving device for anyone in the air. It is the salvation, essentially, of any person that is in the air. It's like, you love your parachute. It's like, don't go up there without your parachute. Well, it's totally perfect representation of Jesus Christ. Don't die without Jesus Christ, or you will go to hell. He is the parachute for your soul. Okay? Apart from God, your soul is destined for fire. Your plane is literally going to crash land in a ball of flame with you trapped inside if you don't get forgiven of your sin. And it's just totally amazing. Well, there's all these 8s in the story of the parachute. But just consider how prolific a parachute is. I mean, there's probably hundreds of millions of parachutes all over this world. And it's the most important thing to any pilot, and of course the word pilot divides by 8. Oh yeah, by the way, this word parachute, let's do the letter by letter glory fest on it. It starts with the letter P, which is a double of 8, just like the word pilot. It starts with P, double of 8, the most important part of the plane. Okay, so P, but the parachute is the most important part. It's like the life-saving device. It's the equivalent of the life-saving vest for anyone that flies in the air. The parachute. How big is this? Huge. Huge, 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 huge. So it does not surprise us at all. Again, folks, this is just how you do it. Think of something that is so huge and so dramatically important in the story of God, that is to say, in all of world history. Parachute. The parachute. Hello. Most important thing to any aviator or anyone that goes in the sky. It's a parachute. Well, now look at the letters that God ordained to be in that word parachute. And you will see Jesus equals 8 at 8 taking the glory for the whole thing completely. So now let's do a letter by letter analysis of that root parachute, which summarizes all the words that come from it. Right out of the gate, of course, P, it starts with a double of 8s. And then the C, the H, and the U. Well, the H by itself is 8, obviously. The C and the U typically combine to make 24 AAA. And then the rest combine to make 40. So, in the P, the C, and the U, we've got 40. And then, so we've got two teams. You can do a number of things here because of the P and the H. But you can have two teams of 40. And then the H, for the 8, you can have 40 plus 48. You can have 8 plus 16 plus 24 plus 40. And it's just through the roof brilliant. So there you go. Parachute, the root equals 88 exactly in 8 letters. Jesus equals 8 at 8 takes the glory for all parachutes. And there isn't a single pilot in this world that will go up into the air without a parachute with him or her. That is the truth. There is no one that goes up into the sky without a parachute with them. Period. And so Jesus equals 8 at 8 takes the glory for all of that. Amen.